Somebody say, Trap, your tank, mine? Bro, I lost 270,000 on Friday. But bro, I made before Friday, coming into Friday, I was up 400 like and 10,000. So do I mind giving it back 270? Hell no, bro. It's part of the game. The problem is, bro, that like a lot of us look at money different. For me, I don't look at that as nothing other than tuition to play the game. Let me start by saying this first and foremost. The market had its biggest down move since April, right? Over 1.6 trillion dollars in market cap was wiped out in 24 hours. The trigger, here's the trigger. One statement from Trump. That's right. One statement from Trump announcing 100% tariff on China, y'all. Right? Announcing 100% tariff on China imports, export controls, and critical software. Nah, this wasn't just about a political headline, y'all. This was truly a financial shock that hit everything. Stocks, crypto, commodities, all at once. All at once. So don't think, oh, Trap, it's just the stock market. Oh, Trap, it's just, no, everything got hit all at once, y'all. It was a financial shockwave, right? But here's what I want you to know, and this real talk. If you know how to read these moments, this really is not panic, y'all. It's just positioning, right? Now think about this. Now the number, when we got the final numbers in, it was 2.5 trillion gone in the S&P futures in 6 hours. Fear does not destroy wealth, it transfers it. Let me say that again. Let me say that again. Let me say that again. Fear doesn't destroy wealth, it transfers it. Let's sit on that for a second. When we say fear doesn't destroy wealth, it transfers it. That tells us for a second why everybody was posting their screenshots. Oh, I made this, I made that, I made this, I made that. They sitting back waiting. And so what happens is, if you get scared in these moments, what you do is you take the money from yourself and you put it in somebody else's pocket. And this is why it's important for us in these moments not to be taken out of position. This is not the position. This is not the moment to be getting scared and say, oh, I'm glad I'm not in the market right now. No, this is the perfect time to be in the market. This is a perfect time. Yep, your plays did get hit right now, but let me ask you this question, and I want you to be real with me. Have we not seen this before? Have we not seen this before? Have we not seen Trump make this type of move and the market has this knee-jerk reaction and then everybody gets scared? Now, I'm going to tell you something. You know who really gets hurt in these moments? It's the retail investor. It's because you haven't built up the mental fortitude or the financial fortitude to navigate this. You thinking you lost some money yesterday. Nah. You just got repositioned. Now, if you're a day trader or something, you probably did take an L. But this has happened all the time. Now watch this. Trump said, there's no reason for us to talk to President Xi while he still has not canceled the phone call. They still got a meeting coming up. These are simply knee-jerk reactions that the market makes. Now let me tell you why this also happened. The market has been overextended, y'all. We know for a fact that the market been running since April. So many people got shaken out of the market in March and in April, waiting for the opportunity. They kept saying, it's going to go lower. It's going to go lower. You know why we can say stuff like that? Because there's always stocks that's going to go up even when the market going down. There's always stocks that's going to go up. There's always stock that's going to run up. So what you need to understand is, how can we just position ourselves? Silver, Rare earth minerals, companies like USAR that we've been in. We've been here before, y'all. Netflix, we've been here before, y'all. So I'm also saying this because we don't gotta be so emotional when it comes to the market. That one move from Trump was like a tariff heard around the world. Now, Trump's post laid out clearly, starting November 1st, 2025, the U.S. will impose 100% tariffs on China imports and restrict exports of critical software. Why does that matter? Well, because China holds a weapon that's not discussed enough, the rare earth diamonds. Now watch this. Look at it like this. Over 2/3 of the world rare earth production comes from China. That's 240,000 tons versus the US's 43,000 tons. And that has been quietly moving since the 1990s. And that's now the front line of this economic war we had. I'm going to say that again. 240,000 tons versus the United States 43,000 tons. Think about that, y'all. Think about that. And whoever controls the rare earths, they control the AI, they control the EVs, they control the chips, they control the defense, they control everything. Now, remember, we talked about this. Now, listen, in the Patreon, matter of fact, I'm not even going to limit it to the Patreon. I literally made a video Monday and said we should buy USAR. Tuesday, it shot up. Wednesday, it shot up. No, Tuesday, it shot up, came back down. Wednesday, it shot up. Thursday, it shot up. Friday, it shot up even more. Now, let me break this down a little bit more, too, because we need to truly understand this perspective of it. The U.S. and China are going to come to some type of deal. But we looking at a world right now where both parties are realizing, hey, we don't want to go into this next frontier depending on the other. That's right. Neither one of them want to go into the next decade or the next frontier, which is this AI. We know this is not a bubble. Why is this not a bubble? Because we know that AI is everywhere. We know that AI is all around us. We see EVs going everywhere. We see this. So we see what's going on. And so now it's about China saying, yo, we not about to depend on them. And it's about America really saying, we not about to depend on them either. So you see Donald Trump making these moves. You see America buying into companies like Intel. You see America buying into getting revenue from companies like Nvidia and AMD. You see America getting into companies like Trilogy. This is a fight for independence, because neither one of them wants to go into this next revolution saying, I am the sole owner of this. And right now, I'll be honest, China has a stronghold. And they both are like, hey, we got to rid ourselves. So now we got to have this. Let's connect the dots. The S&P lost 3.5% in one day. That's $2.5 trillion moves. Crypto liquidations hit $19.5 billion, a record. Oil, copper, natural gas, all down sharply. Listen, this is what happens. These aren't just random moves, y'all. This was a market that has been stretched. Warren Pye said that 119 days straight without a 3% pullback. When have you, I want you to understand something. 119 days without a 3% pullback. When you have an overvalued name or overvalued names in the market, that's too much optimism. And it takes a spark like a Trump tariff to light it on fire. Watch this. We had a 21% spike in the VIX. Now, if you don't know what the VIX is a tool that measures future volatility. We had a 21% spike in the VIX. Now, I got some math for you. Anytime the market has a 21% spike in the VIX, the following 2 weeks later, we have a market run of another 3% gain. That's some math for you. This stuff don't just happen random. We had 119 days, y'all, 119 days without any type of 2 to 3% pullback. When you have an overvalued stock and you have overvalued names like that, that's too much optimism. And we need the market to pull back. The market is always looking for a reason. Now, the thing about that is retail investors get hurt the most in these type of times simply because, here's why. You never brace yourself for the downside. You always out there butt naked in the nude. The VIX, anytime you have a 21% spike in the VIX in one day, the following 2 weeks, the market gives you about a 2 to 3% gain. And so what happens is, as new investors, y'all, you be out there naked. You be out there in the market naked. And you know what happens? You know what happened? Stop loss, baby. Well, I disagree with you on that. Stop losses don't help you over the weekend. Stop losses don't help you after the market. Stop losses can be good and bad. Depends on who you are as a trader, right? Because the one thing we know the market like to do is what? Armed robbery. It'll hit your stop loss just to take your money, then go back the other way. How many people in the chat been victims of that? The market hit your stop loss, boom, go the other way. How many people in the chat been victim to that? Tell the truth about that. So for me, it's understanding that markets don't fall because of news. They fall because they're looking for a reason. Let me say that again. Markets don't fall just because of the news. The markets fall because they look for a reason to sell off. Now, here's what we got to understand. While 1.6 billion tarnished from one mega cap, or from mega caps, another corner of the market lit up. And that was the rare earths, that was the gold, that was things like that. American rare earths, 14%. Linus, NYANS, 5%. US rare earths, 12%. MP materials, 12%. These things ran up. Smart money rotated out of overbought growth and into critical resources. Let me say that again, because y'all ain't listening to me. Smart money just got out of overbought and rotated into critical resources because tariffs shift where money flows, not if it flows. Come on. Whoop they do. Y'all ain't hearing me. I ain't here to just fluff y'all, man. I ain't just here to just talk random to you, family. I ain't here to just talk. Come on, family. I ain't here to just talk random to you, family. No, sir. Every panic creates a pivot, but every pivot hides a play. Somebody say, Trap, your shit tank. Mine, bro, I lost 270,000 on Friday. But bro, I made, before Friday, coming into Friday, I was up 400, like, and 10,000. So do I mind giving it back 270? Hell no, bro. It's part of the game. The problem is, bro, that like a lot of us look at money different. For me, I don't look at that as nothing other than tuition to play the game. It's simple. See, I think the biggest issue with a lot of people when they play the market is your goal is to try to avoid losing money. When my goal is to go make money. That's two different perspectives. It's two different perspectives. Your goal is to not lose money. My goal is to go make money. And so the person who has the money is the market is full of abundance. You go look for money. Your goal is never to avoid losing money. Here's the thing, y'all, and I'm going to just keep it 100% real with you. You're going to lose some money in the market. The bigger you play the game, the bigger you're going to have to deal with that. But guess what? When you waking up to guess what? In one day, I made $220,000. Go look on my page, on my Instagram page. I showed it. I think it was Tuesday we made, Wednesday we made 220, Thursday we made 140, one something. Monday we made like 97. Tuesday we made a couple dollars. The goal behind the market is, bro, the market goes up 76% of the time. The market goes up 76% of the time. This is the perfect opportunity for us, y'all. I'm going to say this again. Every panic creates a pivot, and every pivot hides a play. For us, it's saying, hey, where do I get the plays at? Well, let me tell you something. If we look at this right quick, let me show you something right quick. Watch what I'm about to show you. Watch what I'm about to talk to y'all right quick, because this is how we can position ourselves. Watch this. I'm going to give y'all 5 seconds to get your pen and your paper right quick. We're going to write some stuff down that's going to really be beneficial for us. We're going to write some stuff down that's going to be really beneficial for us. Watch this. Let's just get on our phone right quick. Watch this. Nvidia fell 4.19%. So if you like Nvidia going to 200 and it fell to 183, you back in perspective. Watch this. AMAT fell 4.73%. Right? This AMAT, NVDA. Let's go a little further. What's the themes right now that's making it in the market? Let's talk about the themes right quick. Right? Let's talk about that. Let's say, okay, Trap, what themes right now are working in the market? Let's go through that. Y'all want to go through that right quick? Because I want to show just how we get back in position. Watch this. Here's the themes that I got wrote down in my phone. Why I can't find this thing? All right, watch this. Hardware, AI hardware. Watch this. Nvidia. Watch this. TSM. ASML. Don't be surprised if AMD goes back to 187. Right? Watch this. Watch this. What else been going? Nuclear energy. OKLO. CEG. VRT. The space economy. Rocket Labs. RKLB. Watch this. LUNR. Okay? Watch this. AI utility. IREN. Another one. CIFR. Also, CoreWeave. CRWV. I'm giving you a game right here. Watch this. AI infrastructure. Microsoft. Amazon. Google. NBIS. I'm giving you, nobody not gonna come just give y'all the game right quick. And I'm giving you the infrastructure on how it's rolled down. So watch this. AI connectivity, meaning connecting the AI. Watch this. AVGO. Another one. ALAB. Marvell. MRVL. This is another stock I'm about to tell y'all I put y'all on a while back in my groups. And then Credo. CRDO. Also ANET. ANAT. I'm giving you free game right here. I'm giving you free game right here. I'm giving you a game right here. Palo Alto. I'm giving you a game right here. Watch this. Zscaler. Y'all gonna stay to complain. Oh, this ain't, y'all gonna complain about this. You're gonna complain about that. I'm giving you the game right quick. Watch this. Quantum. IONQ. RGTI. QBTS. That's quantum computing. And then we're going to go robotics. We're going to go Tesla. We're going to go ISRG. And we're going to go PRCT. And watch this. We're going to go, watch this. Don't forget this. We got to go banking. Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Capital One, COF. And then we go rare earths, the ones we talked about. You should not be investing in nothing that's not in the theme of what's going on. We should not be investing in nothing to not with the theme that's going on, y'all. This is such an amazing opportunity for us, but our biggest issue as investors is we don't look at the market like it's gonna make us a lot of money. We look at the market by not to lose money, and that's the worst thing we can have. Now, let's go a little further into what we're talking about here. China does have an advantage. China didn't just lead, they built a monopoly. For 20 years while the US was scaling Silicon Valley, China was scaling supply chains. Rare earth elements are essential for fighter jets, drones, radars, smartphones, EVs, and AI chips. Without them, no country can compete on modern warfare technology. Let me just say that again. Without any of that, no country can compete on modern warfare. Listen, while we were scaling Silicon Valley, now don't get me wrong, America has power for sure. America has power for sure. But we also got to give credit, and we also got to look at the rest of the world. So I'm going to say it again. The rare earth elements are essential for fighter jets, drones, radars, smartphones, EVs, AI, chips, robotics. Without them, no country can compete in modern warfare or technology. This is why Trump made that tweet. Somebody say China is always 100 steps ahead or ahead. They just stay low key. I don't agree with that. I think America, I'm going to tell y'all something. Y'all don't be giving America credit. Yo, America really be on their shit. But we playing a game of chess. So everybody got to move a certain way. Everybody do really good at what they do. What do you think this effect will have on the price of gold? It's going to keep going up. It's going to keep going up. And this is why Trump's 100% tariff isn't about trade, it's about control. But let's go a little further though. Now, this is truly why the Trump tariff was about control, right? We're not in a trade war, we're in a resource war, y'all. We're not in a trade war, we are in a resource war. And your goal for this is to ride the trend, don't try to predict the top. Don't try to predict the bottom. Now, let's just talk about psychology for a minute. Every trader wants to call tops, they want to call bottoms, but that's just not how wealth is made, y'all. Trends go further than you think. Fear shakes out the weak hands, y'all. That's why I said don't get shaken out. You want to look for clarity, you want to look for structure, you want to try to take your emotion out of it. Volume, momentum, that's what you're looking for. Scale smartly. I want you to understand something, man. Professionals don't predict their position, and that's what we gotta do, dog. Like, we gotta just be positioning for AI, positioning for energy. Companies like CEG, that's why I named that out. Now, let's just zoom out for a little bit. Tariffs aren't the story. The real story is, where are we headed? I'm gonna just look at some questions right quick. Do you think we are headed in the right direction? I think so. You gotta think we did 119 days with no 2 to 3% pullback. We was overdue. We was overdue for that. So I don't want you to feel as whether you're an investor or a trader, this is the perfect opportunity. 100% APLD. We talked about that maybe like 4 or 5 months ago. Now, let's just zoom out for a second. Here's the real story. AI chips are needed. Chips need rare earths. Rare earth need secure supply chains. And secure supply chains need policy, not politics. Come on, y'all. Am I talking to you? Say it again. AI needs chips. Chips need rare earths. Rare earths need secure supply chains. Secure supply chains need policy, not politics. Okay, let's make that make sense. This is not going to be about policies that are put in place. This is why you see Donald Trump and his team investing in certain companies, because the goal is to put policies in place to ensure America's stable. Now, after China, America is next in line with the processing. Listen to what I'm saying. Not the rare earths itself, but processing. China has about a 75 to 80% of all the processing. This is why you see America buying into and getting stakes into companies that do what? Do some of the processing. So America is trying to position themselves not to be dependent on China. And China is trying to make sure they doesn't give up the position. So now here's what we know. Remember, Trump said something that really hurt the markets, what made the markets get scared when he said, yo, I'm not even meeting with President Xi. But at the same time, he didn't do what? Cancel the meeting. They got a meeting, y'all. They're gonna sit down and talk. And guess what they're gonna use as the pawn? Nvidia. Nvidia is going to be the pawn in the game. Guess why? Watch this. I don't care what Huawei does, they will never be as good as ginseng wine. They late. The boy on a whole nother level. This is why China said, hey, don't none of y'all companies in China get no chips from Nvidia. He said that. Don't get none from Nvidia. You know why? It wasn't because he wasn't going to need them. President Xi understood the leverage that China had with the rare earth processing. This is our leverage. America, Trump got to understand the leverage we have with Nvidia. So what's going to happen is that becomes the bargaining chip. That becomes the bargaining chip. That becomes the chip that we sit at the table with and negotiate. How do you let us get access to this while we give you this? Now, how that's going to work out is it's going to work out in a way where, watch this. This is why Donald Trump got a 15% stake in Nvidia and AMD.
Whoop they do.
The boy played big boy ball. The boy played big boy ball. He played big boy ball. This ain't just. You heard me? Why you think he took a stake in Nvidia and AMD 10%? The Trump administration. Why? This is going to be the bargaining chip. China understands how powerful Nvidia is. Now, they have complete confidence that Huawei and Baidu, that they can do pretty good, but they can't do with Nvidia. Watch this. How do we know? Remember when the company came out, DeepSeek, and they were supposed to compete with Nvidia and the market fell for no apparent reason and on Nvidia, and then come to find out that the people had what? 56,000 Nvidia chips. And then the market finds out that they have 56,000 Nvidia chips. So how you gonna be better than me with my own chip? You can't. It's impossible. And guess what Ginseng Wan doing? He coming up with something every time. That's why he told Lisa Su, I don't know why. And that's his cousin. He was like, yo, I don't know why you would sell part of your company to go with OpenAI when we got to supply OpenAI. Well, she trying to compete. Well, good. Guess what? Bro, keep on evolving. He keep on evolving at a high level. You got to remember, he got some of their blood in him. He brilliant. So everybody playing chess. This is what I'm telling y'all. Trump playing chess, China playing chess. But the thing is, watch this. Watch this. Everybody trying to avoid getting checkmated. Now, let me show you why the market fall yesterday wasn't as bad as you think it is. Watch this. And let me show you why it gives Trump leverage. So even with that fall yesterday, the market is only down 10%. So the market lost 3% yesterday. The market lost 2.9% yesterday. The market was up right at 13%, right? So even with that fall yesterday, the market lost $18, right? Even with that fall yesterday, the market is still 10%. Guess what? That's still leverage for Trump. Why? He can leverage that because as long as he doesn't have a declining market, as long as he can end the year with a double-digit positive market, that's a good market. All right, y'all don't understand how that makes sense. Okay, cool. Watch this. One of the things you don't want on your list as a president, especially a money man like Donald Trump, is a market that's negative. Can you understand a company trading 10 times their multiple? Companies always trade, bro, listen to me. So watch this. Very seldom do companies trade at fair value. You know why? Because the stock market is a forward-looking mechanism. You need something like what happened in April and March to happen to get companies to go to fair value. The problem with that is when they come to fair value, y'all keep thinking the market gonna go lower. So when you get an Nvidia at $83, you keep saying I wanted to go lower. When you get Facebook at $98 in 2022, you keep saying I wanted to go lower. When you get Netflix that was a $700 company go all the way to $200, guess what you keep saying? I wanted to go lower. So the very few times that the market do trade at fair value, you keep saying, I wanted to go lower. And then when the market runs back up, you keep saying, oh, the market too high. You don't understand how to take advantage when the market is low and you complain when the market is high. Listen, the market goes up 76% of the time, which simply means the market is going to be way more overvalued than it is for fair value. So the United States gets 10%. Go look up the AMD Nvidia deal with the Trump administration, not the United States. The Trump administration has a 15% stake deal with, they get 15% of Nvidia and AMD's revenue. That was a deal they made. The market is a forward-looking mechanism. So it's going to always be overvalued way, I'm going to rephrase that. It's going to be overvalued way more than it has a fair value. You know why? This is why guidance in a company gets more recognition than actual earnings and revenue right now. We still got a 2% correction company. Newsflash, my brother, a 2% is not a correction. 5% is 10% is a correction. 10% is a correction. 10% is a correction, not 2%. 2% is still just a pullback. So I think a lot of people won't succeed in the market simply because you know what you want. You just want somebody to give you a list. You want somebody to give you stocks to pick. And what happens is you don't want to do no research and you don't want to understand why we doing it. So for me, I'm an information person. I don't just like to tell people companies. I like to tell you why and give you data on why I'm giving you a company or why I'm saying a company. So I like to give information and data before I do something. That's my whole goal behind everything. It's to help us grow, to help us build, to help us get money. So let's get into it. So the reason why I built this list out is because I built this out and I wrote it out last night because I feel like if we look at what the market is rewarding, then it'll put us in a great position. So the first thing is AI utility. Write that down. AI utility. And so you think about the AI utility like this. You think about your house, right? What are the things that help your house function properly? So do you need the lights in your house? No. Do you need water? I mean, but if you have water and lights, it helps the house move a different way. That's the utility, right? So the AI utility I got on my list, IREN. I got also on my list CoreWeave, CRWV. I also got on my list CIFR. Those are utilities. Now, let's go a little further. Let's look at them right quick. Let's just talk. Now, while I'm talking to y'all with my list, this time I'm going to go in depth. I'm going to go in depth because now we're going to look at it on, we're going to go in depth, but then I'm going to look at it on Robinhood while I'm looking at it. And I'm going to look at it as from a price perspective, what I think would be I'm not going to say the go-to price, but like a cool, IREN year to date up 474%. It's $59 right now. Watch this. At $59, I think at $59, I like it at 49. I like it at 49. That's my sleeper. I like it at 49. CoreWeave, 240%. I like it at 130. I like it at 130. Right? So let's go to AI hardware. So think about the nuts and bolts of AI. Of course, I like Nvidia. Of course, we like ASML. Of course, for me, TSM. And I know y'all like AMD. I know y'all like AMD. All right, so let's look at it right quick. All right, so just me, not saying it's gonna happen, but just saying what I like it at. Nvidia 183. I like a 179 Nvidia. ASML. It's a big dog. I like it if it falls back to 900. Y'all are sleeping on Intel. I'm not sleeping on Intel. I just don't think it's a good fundamental company. I'm not sleeping on it. I like fundamentals. I like fundamentally strong companies. All right, so then let's go a little further to AI connectivity. So that's connecting the AI. We talking about the networks, right? So of course, I like AVGO, the Internet of Things. 90%. I put out a video on that. 90% of all internet traffic goes through Broadcom. So I like AVGO. I like ALAB. I love CRDO, and I like ANET. That's AI connectivity. Remember, I'm telling y'all the companies based on the department that is in when it comes to AI. AVGO, ALAB, CRDO, and ANET. That comes to AI connectivity. I like that. If you like anything AI, of course you go SMH. Right? And you can't skip out on the space economy. You can't skip out on the space economy because they've been running too. And so you think about the space economy, the first thing you got to think about is Rocket Labs. Ticker symbol RKLB. RKLB. Up 143% year to date. Fell down 3% Friday. I think if it goes to 59, it's a ringer. Now, a sleeper is Planet Labs, PL, up 243% year to date. That's a sleeper. It did lose 6 cents. It did go down 6% and another 4% after hours. I think if it goes down to about $12, I think that's a good catch. Planet Labs. If it goes down to about $12, it's a lick. So next on the licks, I think we gotta go. No, we can't go. We can't go. We can't talk about none of this if we don't go nuclear energy. I think first on the list is okay. And I ain't gonna lie, my Patreon been eating this up alive. I haven't been a part of this with them because they've been on their own, but they've been eating this one alive. I'm talking about they've been going crazy. But I do think I'm gonna get in it with them moving forward. I like what I see right here. I had to do my research on it. OKLO is up 600% year to date. They've been going crazy with OKLO. They've been on it on their own. I've been saluting them, but I see it had a healthy pullback. I see the all-time high for it is at 161. It's currently trading at 148. I like that. I like that. It gives me enough room to the upside. We got to be willing to move from panic to power. And what we saw was $1.6 trillion sell-off. And a lot of people panicked. But to me, it was really a reset. Overvalued names got corrected. Fundamentals got rebalanced, and those watching closely saw money move quietly into new frontiers. The question really isn't if the market rebounds, it's where it rebounds. Will it be the same tech names or in the companies building the next industrial backbone to America? And all I really want to say to us is fear is loud, but wealth moves with precision. And right now, the next decade of winners are building, accumulating, and they ain't really advertising until it's too late. My goal is to help us keep making money in this market. But sometimes things happen. I'm not ashamed to say that yesterday I lost $270,000. Go look on my Instagram. It's there. I don't hide my losses. But if you also look on that page, you'll see one day I posted $120,000 win. Another day I posted one day I posted $140,000 win. Another day I posted a $220,000 win. Had some more big wins along the way. This is all a part of the game for me. I don't try to play this game to flex on nobody or nothing like that. My goal for playing this game is to show y'all that we can win big no matter where we start from. And the biggest time for us to make the most money in the market is when the market do things like it did Friday. And we don't got to jump in the market. We let the market tell us what it's going to do.